welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, we're covering part 3 to a story I covered about 4 weeks ago, which was titled, Fiancée told people we're in an open relationship, so I banged her cousin and ended the engagement. As a recap, because it's been a month, guys, that's about the guy who actually wrote in his story to my main channel, Strong Successful Male. And I thought it was better for this channel because it was more on the crazy side. And long story short, he was engaged. A little too young, a little too early for the length of time he knew her, girl from wealthy family. And there was a lot of suspicious behavior on her end, you all recall. And if you don't recall, go watch the thing again. And eventually found out on some big weekend there was something going on in her wealthy family's house. All the family was there. And suspicious behavior with her and the so-called friend of hers with a man bun. And found out that she was cheating on him with this guy. And this guy finds out from other family members that she was going around telling people they were in an open relationship. Yeah, that was news to him. So he immediately then proceeds to end it and bang her cousin. Because every wealthy family has that cousin who just sleeps with everybody, although this girl in the story sleeps with everybody too. Anyhow, cousin rivalry. And it ended with the gal begging him to come back, blah, 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 but he's done, and he left into the sunset. Well, as you know, these stories never just end right there. There's always more drama, more fallout here, because, of course, they just broke up, and this was recent. So now we're going to continue on with more info coming on here with him, her sister, the cousin, all that type of thing. And a lot of you guys watch this. I'm sure you guys are wondering what happened to these fine folks. So he says here, hello, SSM. I didn't think I'd ever be sending an update to my post that you read a few weeks ago. Bro, you've been watching me for a while. You must know at this point there's going to be updates. There's going to be more drama coming along. You just broke up with your fiancé. Of course there's going to be drama. I haven't had any contact with Nora, my ex-fiancée, since I blocked her right after she let me know when she planned to pick up her stuff from my porch. I still get emails from her, and she wrote me 2 letters. I deleted the emails and threw away her letters unopened. I've had no contact with her cousin, who came back to the hotel with me. Yeah, her cousin's a piece of trash. I'd avoid her. And you got no reason to talk to your now ex. Thank God you didn't get married. I blocked the cousin on my trip home from the hotel. Some people in the comments to the latest video were curious about what happened to Nora, man bun, and the cousin I left from home. I didn't know, so I had nothing to report in an update until I heard from Nora's older sister, Sarah. Yes, there was Sarah from the first couple videos, and Sarah was like the cool sister who actually got along with. Sarah called me in the morning on July 3rd. I half expected to hear from her before that. I thought she would call to see how I was doing. Sarah, her husband Mike, and I have spent a lot of time together since Nora and I began dating seriously about 3 years ago. Whenever I visited Nora at her parents' home, I stayed with Sarah and Mike. Nora is his ex, guys. Sarah, Mike, and I became close friends, especially Sarah and me since Mike was at work most of the time. You should be becoming buddies with another man's wife or your girl's sister. I know you all were hanging out, but I think you get my point. I figured that I didn't hear from Sarah because supporting her sister was more important to her than whatever friendship Sarah and I had. But Sarah called me. She asked me how I was doing. I told her dumping Nora was like getting rid of 200 pounds of weight I've been carrying. If Sarah was calling to see if I was ready to take Nora back, I wanted to let her know I wasn't going to listen to it. Instead, she told me that she didn't know Nora was still seeing man bun. If she had known, she would have told me. I told her I knew that. I asked how she was doing, and she told me she went into labor on June 2nd. Well, that's right, she was pregnant. And gave birth to her son on June 3rd. I think you mean July, because didn't this all go down in July or June? I don't know. The point is, she gave birth, because she was pregnant the last time he saw her. She said she gave the birth about 2 weeks early, probably because of the excitement at her father's birthday party. But she and her baby both are in good health. Well, congratulations. I asked about Sarah's husband, Mike, and she said, okay, and went on to see if she needed a favor. If it was too much to ask, please tell her. No hard feelings. I told her to go ahead, and she told me she has to get away from her husband and in-laws for a while. She needs a place to stay where she can't be found. It would only be for a few days, maybe a week, but she can't go to her parents because that's the first place her husband and the family would look for her. Oh, more drama in this wonderful family, huh? The same thing with her friends. She can't go to a hotel. Even if she paid cash, the hotel would want a backup credit card. She's pretty sure they'd run the card just to see if it works. Mike could see the credit card charge and track her down. Sarah figures that no one would ever think to look at my place for her. Can she and her son come visit me for a few days, maybe a week at most? I thought, what the fuck? She wants to hide from her husband. Drama, drama, drama. Well, if she disappears the baby, they're going to have the police everywhere looking, and it's going to come up on your door. But, okay. Sarah was calm, but there was some depression in her voice, and desperation. I asked her why she would want to disappear. She said she was not disappearing, she'll stay in touch with Mike. He will know that she and the baby are fine. Mike and his parents just won't know where she and the baby are. I asked her what was going on, and Sarah assured me nothing nefarious, nothing illegal. She's not interested in romance. I'll be safe in that regard. Yeah, we'll see. But she needs a place to stay. She needs a place to get away from her husband and the in-laws, and my place is the best option. Can she and her son stay with me? And she understands it's a credible imposition, so if it's too much, just say no. She'll understand, but she really needs a place to get away from Mike and his family. He's like, okay, all right, what could possibly go wrong? I didn't know what to say. I know that some women have emotional or psychological problems like postpartum depression after giving birth. But she sounded like she was the end of a rope, and I didn't think that I could just outright refuse her request. I stayed with her and Mike over 20 times in the last 3 years. I've also felt welcome in their home, mostly because Sarah made sure I felt welcome. Well, that's the thing. If Mike is your bro and you've got along great, you're kind of, you know what I mean? I get you've been friends with her, and but you're just getting her side of the story here. And this guy, meanwhile, you're coming between your friendship with him. So, this isn't just a one-side situation. This is an issue I have with this situation. But it's his story. Anyway, she always treated me as a friend instead of some guy who was dating her sister. I asked her to explain why she needed to hide from her husband and the in-laws. I'm comfortable being kept in the dark. Good. It's like if I'm going to keep you here, and hide you from my friend Mike, I need to know what the fuck is going on here. So I need to know before you come here. I also didn't like being put in the middle between her and her husband. She said if I agreed to let her stay with me, she explained everything in person. It's a long story. After she explains, if I want to tell Mike where she is, she'll dial his number for me so I can do that. Fair enough, but still, once she's there, good luck getting rid of her. I told her she can stay with me as long as she wants, but only if I have her explanation convinces me she's doing the right thing. If this is just some bullshit, I will call her husband immediately and tell him where she is. Good. I'm glad you said that. She said that I'll see she has a good reason to keep where she is a secret. I told her I really don't like this, but she's welcome to come and talk. Depending on what she tells me, I'll decide about her and her boy staying with me. She asked me how long the drive from her house to mine is. I told her about 2.5 hours. She said she'll leave his place in about an hour with the baby. It'll take more than 4 hours to get to me. We get off, and I texted her my address. Well, remember, brother, no good deed goes unpunished. And again, I get that you're all friends and all that, but still. Sarah arrived at my place later that afternoon on July 3rd. She looked stressed, exhausted, but physically in great shape. She didn't look like she just had given birth a month earlier. We hugged, she introduced me to her baby, and thanked me for letting them stay with me. I told her she had a cute baby, but honestly, all babies look alike to me. She said she needed to give the baby a bath, feed him, and put him down. If she doesn't do that now, he'll be up all night. Can she bathe him in the kitchen sink? She brought a tub to bathe him in, but it's in the car. If I can get this portable crib out of the car and set up in the guest bedroom, that would be great. Leave the rest of her bags in the car. She'll get them when she's finally finished with the boy. I, of course, brought in all her stuff from the car. Babies do not travel light. After Sarah finished the baby's bath, she sat on the couch and asked me if I minded if she fed the baby in front of me. I told her that was fine. She opened her blouse, opened the flap on what I guess was in her nursing bra, and put him to her breast. I'd be like, why don't you turn around, please? And by the way, guys, we're getting to some important points to this story. Anyway, hungry guy, I didn't know what to do, where to look, blah, 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 blah. Let her finish the baby, and I'll cook if I want. Tomorrow she'll go grocery shopping, and after we finished eating, she burped, blah, 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 but let's get to the main shit, dude. So she sat on the couch across from her. I sat across from her in the recliner, and she said she understands I want to know what's going on. But she's exhausted and needs to rest her eyes for a few minutes while the baby's asleep. Can we put off the talk? No, we're not going to put off the talk. I've been patient here. You're going to tell me what's fucking going on here. Okay, she laid on the couch, closed her eyes, and was immediately asleep. She woke up and the baby started crying about 9 p.m. She brought him down and changed him and fed him again, and she put him on the back on the couch. She asked me if I had plans for tomorrow. I told him off for the summer. Summer school jobs, and based on my seniority, and I'm the least senior, so I'm on vacation. I'll run the 2 miles to the gym, work out, and run back home. That and hanging out with friends has been my summer. Let's not chit-chat about the summer. You tell me what's going on with your husband here. She said she'd like to go to the gym with me, but she can't leave the baby alone. At home, she had a nanny who could watch the baby while she was at the gym. Working out is the only thing it kept her sane. She wasn't hinting that I should watch the boy while she goes to the gym. Yes, she was. Already, you're taking her in, and you haven't gotten an explanation why she's there, and she's breastfeeding in front of you, and turning your house upside down, and now you're babysitting the baby. You probably have no experience with babies while she goes to the gym. Man, I have no idea how to take care of a baby, and there's no way she would leave him alone with her son for more than a few seconds. I told her we'll figure something out. After she had something to eat, she told me she knows I'm waiting for an explanation. It's about goddamn time. She promises she told Mike that she was leaving for a while with the boy. He knows they're okay, just not where they are. I have a hard time believing he's okay with this. But she can tell me tomorrow why she's here. A lot has happened since her father's birthday party on June 1st, and she wants to tell me all of it. But now she needs to prepare bottles for the boy for tonight and get their stuff unpacked. She'd like to get everything ready for him and then go to bed. I said I'll take her bags upstairs. Smack! You're being too fucking nice here, dude. No, you're going to tell me right now what's going on here. The next morning, I got up early and ran to the gym. When I returned, Sarah was in the kitchen filling bottles. She looked much better, less exhausted, less stressed. She seemed happy. She said we need to get groceries. She'll make breakfast for me while I shower. I asked why her husband would be worried, and she told him last night and told him that she needed some space to think. She disabled the location device on her phone before she left home. You're caught right in the middle of this shit, man. She looked at me and said she'll let me know what this is all about, but it's a long story. Notice she keeps pushing this shit off here. The baby will nap after lunch so we can talk then. Okay. We need to go grocery shopping. She can't use credit cards, but she has some cash and she'll pay for everything. I told her she's my guest and not to pay for anything. Oh, well, how convenient. She'll never let me pay for anything when I stay with her and Mike. She told me we were going to have our first fight. I don't want her to pay. So I paid, and I'm bigger and stronger than she is, and I got between her and the cashier. She wasn't happy. After lunch, she put the baby on the couch next to her to sleep and asked if I wanted to know what happened after I left the hotel after her father's birthday party. It's about fucking time. I told her I really didn't care. I was way past any interest in Nora or Man Bun. But there's lots of juicy stuff here, so of course she's going to tell you. But first off, let's hear what's going on between you and your husband. She laughed and said, I'm dying to know what happened, but just don't want to admit it. I smiled and told her to go ahead. What happened after I left? She said her explanation of why she's here is part of the reason why she's telling me, but she needs to explain in her own way, and I told her to go ahead. Oh, for goodness sake. This is my best recollection of what Sarah told me. After I punched Man Bun and left with the cousin, that was pretty much the end of the party. Her aunts and uncles and cousins went back to their hotel, and her parents, neighbors, and friends left. Their father told Man Bun to leave and was no longer welcome in their home. Well, that's good to hear. And I love that you punched that guy out. I interrupted her to ask if Man Bun reported me to the police for punching him. She said that she described exactly what happened to her husband Mike, a lawyer. Mike's analysis was that Man Bun assaulted me when he grabbed me. It was self-defense on my part. Legally, I did everything perfectly. Everyone heard me tell him to get his hand off me, and when he didn't, I dropped him and left. I had no problem with that. If I continued to punch him when he was down, he could have had me arrested for assault. But I did enough to protect myself, disable him, and then I left. Sarah and Mike told her Man Bun gave me a free punch by grabbing me first, and that's all I needed. Anyway, back to what happened after I punched Man Bun and left with their cousin. Sarah's husband finally showed up, and they went home. Sarah and her husband were back at her parents' early that next morning, Sunday morning. The plan for Sunday was for the relatives would return from brunch before driving home. When Sarah and Mike arrived, Nora was still asleep upstairs. Nora had told her parents that she was going out with the cousins again the night before, Saturday night. Her parents didn't hear her come in. Nora must have come home really late. Gee, I wonder who she was with. Man Bun. And clearly she wasn't with that cousin who was effing this guy. Sarah asked her parents what Nora had to say about why I was so angry and stormed out with the cousin. After she returned from the hotel on Saturday, Nora told her parents I was so upset because I thought that she was cheating on me with Man Bun. She wasn't. Sure. She has never cheated on me. She finally convinced me at the hotel that she's never cheated at all. She answered all my questions and proved to me that she was always been faithful to me. What a load of crap. But even though I believed her about her never having cheated on me with anyone ever, my feelings were hurt because of some of the things that she did. Sure. She went out to a bar Friday night with her cousins without telling me. Man Bun behaved inappropriately with her at the party, and Nora should have stopped it immediately. Finally, Nora went to try to stop Man Bun's nose from bleeding instead of comforting me. This is her recollection of the story. She unintentionally hurt my feelings, but assured me that it would never happen again. From now on, she'll think of me first in everything she does. Shouldn't she have done that already? But I was still upset and very embarrassed about what I did at the party. I was ashamed that I called Nora names and left with a cousin. God, this is the story she's telling her family. So I went home instead of returning and apologized to her parents. I'll need some time to cool down, but everything will be back to normal soon. We still love each other, though. We'll still be getting married by the end of the year. Sarah said her parents were relieved that Nora and I were still together. God, her parents actually buy this bullshit? Sarah looked at me like I was insane. She asked me to please tell her what Nora said to convince me that Nora wasn't cheating on me. I told Sarah nothing. I do not believe Nora has ever been faithful to me. I really don't have any evidence of actual cheating. Nora has an explanation for everything, but I'm certain Nora was seeing Man Bun and probably others while we've been together and supposedly exclusive. It didn't matter. Even if she wasn't cheating, her actions show how little respect she had for me and our relationship. That was enough for me to end things with her. We'll never get back together. Hey, freaking man. Yeah, even if she wasn't cheating on you, which of course she was, the way she was treating you and all the suspicious behavior and how she was the freaking queen and all that, no. This is why, guys, you take years with your girl to get to know her before you even consider proposing to her. This guy didn't know her that long. Sarah asked what Nora's explanations were. She needs a good laugh. I started to tell her and then remembered that I wrote up what happened to and sent it to you. I told Sarah there are 2 videos about this whole story on your channels. Everything Nora told me is on the videos. We can just watch them together. I asked her to make some popcorn while I got YouTube up on the TV, and she asked if I wanted a beer. Yep. So you're thank you for giving me a new viewer. We sat on the couch together and watched the 2 videos. Only one interruption to change the baby. Sarah watched, shook her head at things Nora told me, and laughed at your jokes. After the videos finished, I asked her what she thought about you. Sarah said that he's right about a lot of things. Maybe you're a little too hard on women in general, but you're entertaining. Later we can watch some other of his videos. Yeah, well, it is what it is. The reason I'm hard on women, but guess what? I'm also hard on... Okay, I'm going to change my word. I'm not going to say I'm hard on this. I'm tough on the gals, and I'm also tough on the guys for a very warranted reason here. But anyhow, welcome Sarah to the channel. Sarah said Nora's explanations were lies. This is her own sister. Did I want to hear what really happened? Sure. Sarah and Nora were in the backyard Thursday evening before the Saturday birthday party trying to figure out where to put tables. Man Bun saw them from his mother's house 2 doors down and came by to say hello. Nora and Man Bun hadn't seen each other in a while, so they went for a walk. Nora came back alone and called to reserve a room for me at the hotel. For both Friday and Saturday nights, Sarah looked at me and asked why having me stay at the hotel Saturday night. Even though Sarah had planned to sleep in her old bed at her parents' on Friday to get an early start on cooking Saturday, there was no reason for Sarah to sleep at her parents' Saturday night. Sarah said she never had any intention of sleeping at her parents either night, and Nora knew that. Nora told everyone I insisted on staying at the hotel. So she sent this guy off to stay at the hotel, claiming there was no room. Meanwhile, she's telling the whole family, oh no, he wanted to stay at the hotel. What do you think she's doing with Man Bun guy? So Sarah continued. On Friday, they cooked. The relatives' aunts, uncles, cousins showed up about 3 p.m. Man Bun must have seen all the people arrive and thought the party had started, so he arrived shortly after the relatives. By early evening, the older cousins wanted to go drinking. Man Bun told them he knew the perfect place. So Nora went with them. Mike came to get Sarah, and she and Mike went home. Sarah asked if I wanted to know what happened at the bar. Sure, but how does Sarah know what happened at the bar? She went home with Mike. Sarah said she had a married cousin, Gail, whom Sarah had always been close with. They were the same age, 25 years old, and are older than the other cousins. Gail's husband had to work and couldn't come for the party. Gail and Sarah talked on Sunday before the relatives left for home. I get there's a lot of people in this story, but it can get quite confusing. Sarah asked Gail why there wasn't a big confrontation between Nora and the cousin that I hooked up with when Nora met the cousin Saturday night. Their big fight didn't happen until Sunday morning at Sarah's parents. Oh, you telling me there's a cat fight imminent? Gail assured Sarah that Nora wasn't with them Saturday night. All the cousins hung out together, but Nora wasn't there. So Nora lied to her parents about going to meet the cousin Saturday night. Back to the bar on Friday night. They were all sitting together at a large table drinking beers. Nora and Man Bun could not keep their hands off each other, kissing and playing with each other like they were lovers. When Man Bun got up to the bathroom, Gail asked Nora how she could act that way with Man Bun. She's engaged and getting married to me soon. If Nora really likes me and wants to marry me, why is she behaving that way with another man? Yeah, anyway. Good question to ask. Nora shot back that Gail's married. Nora isn't. How could Gail go out bar hopping without her husband? Gail told her that she called her husband to tell him what her plans were. If her husband gave her the slightest hint that he was concerned about her going out with the other cousins, she would not be here. Her husband's comfort was more important to her than anything else. Then Gail asked if Nora told me where she was and what she was doing with Man Bun. They were both angry, so the other cousins stopped what they were doing to watch and listen. Nora told Gail that this wasn't none of Gail's business, but Nora and I had opened our relationship to others. Ding, 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 there you go. Spreading the bullshit story about you having an open relationship. And that we are both free to date and sleep with other people. That's the lifestyle we want to live when we continue to have an open relationship, even after we're married. Nora looked to make sure all the cousins were listening. She told them one of the open relationship rules Nora and I agreed to was to never shove our hookups in each other's faces. Man, she's a pathological liar, this one. So I knew that Nora was probably out with someone tonight, but I would not want to know any of the details. I'm probably hooking up with some girl tonight too. She and I never discuss with each other our outside hookups. I'm a very private person and would be very angry at Nora for even telling the cousins about our lifestyle choices. Translation, so she doesn't want her cousins to tell you. Nora is telling the cousins about our arrangement only because Gail was berating Nora about how Nora was acting with Man Bun. Yeah, it's just Gail's fault for this whole thing, huh? So now Gail and the other cousins understand that Nora is not cheating on me. Both Nora and I are free to do as we want. Nora asked the cousins to honor my wishes and not ask me about any of what she just told them. Man, she's slick. Or tell anybody else for that matter. I wouldn't care that she was with a Man Bun or some other guy. I'd be furious if I found out that Nora is telling people our open relationship. Nora and I agree that how we want to live our lives is none of anybody else's business. The cousins should keep their mouths shut about all this unless they want to really piss me off and ruin the birthday party. Nora and Man Bun left the bar together a few minutes later. And this is the same girl begging that she's so sorry and blah, 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 and I never cheated on you and take me back. I started to object that Nora and I had ever discussed any open relationship. I would never agree to any such arrangement. Sarah stopped me and told me she knows that. She told Gail it was all bullshit, but that's what Gail told Sarah about what happened at the bar Friday night. Gail and Sarah talked early Sunday morning, and after the big fight and before Sarah went to labor. Sarah continued. Saturday morning, Sarah was on her way to use the upstairs bathroom. Their father was in the downstairs bathroom, and Sarah had to go. She was at the foot of the stairs when Nora came in through the front door. It was just after 8 o'clock in the morning. Sarah's hair was flat on one side like she'd just gotten out of bed. Her makeup had run, blah, 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 whatever. And Nora had her pocketbook with her. She started to tease Nora about where she had been. Nora said she was with me. Where did Sarah think she was? Nora went upstairs to shower. Their father finally came out of the downstairs bathroom, so Sarah used that one to go. Nora did go outside again to make any calls after she came downstairs. Sarah said Nora didn't pop outside to phone me back. Sarah pointed out you don't pop out just to call someone with your pocket phone, with your pocketbook, and your bra stuff in your pocket. She didn't answer my call because she was with Man Bun. She was walking home from Man Bun's when she called me back. Also, Sarah said it wasn't Nora who put the turkey in the oven at 4:30 in the morning. Their father got up and put the turkey in. Yeah, that was another big story she was sharing. One other lie that Nora told me in the hotel room, the cousin I banged really does hate Nora, but not because Nora told on her about something the cousin stole. The cousin spent a summer with Sarah's family when Nora and the cousin were in high school. Nora was dating Man Bun, and the cousin started seeing a friend of Man Bun's, whom the cousin really liked. Nora thought it would be fun to take the cousin's crush away from her. Nora had sex with the guy and demanded the guy dump the cousin if he wanted more. Nora regularly cheated on Man Bun, including with his friends, so it was no big deal for Nora. Oh my God, where do these people come from? That was when the cousin probably started to realize that to keep their attention, she had to do more than just kiss the boys. Sarah said the cousin took her revenge on Nora by hooking up with me. So it was a revenge hookup for both the cousin and me. I told Sarah I certainly enjoyed it, and Sarah looked at me and asked if I'd ever been tested for STDs. I'm fine. Yeah, definitely get tested. Sarah said I knew what happened the rest of Saturday. Sunday morning, Nora finally came downstairs, and Sarah and Nora, they had to talk. They went out back, and Sarah asked Nora how she could cheat on me. And with a loser like Man Bun. Was Nora nuts? Sarah told her she's losing a great guy who deserves better than Nora. Nora hissed back that Sarah, Miss Perfect, had what everyone thought was the perfect marriage. Sarah should be worried about their own relationship. Uh-oh. Sister fight. So now the slutty sister Nora is saying pretty much you should watch your husband, blah, blah, blah. If Sarah was concerned about anyone's fidelity, she should talk to her husband. Sarah said that she was stunned and looked in at her husband, who was sitting with her parents. Her husband looked back concerned. Sarah asked what Nora was talking about. Nora said never mind. She shouldn't have said anything. Sarah thought Nora was just gaslighting her. Mike would never cheat on her. Nora was just telling Sarah that to deflect from Nora's own horrible behavior. Nora was very good at that. Well, I'm sure she's good at that, but obviously this husband, given how these stories go, is no saint. Before Sarah could ask Nora any more questions, the relatives arrived. Sarah followed Nora inside to greet them. Sarah said the cousin, who I banged the other day before, coming in with a big Cheshire Cat smile, plastered to her face. Sarah said she wanted to slap the smug look off the cousin's face. Nora politely greeted the cousin and asked if they could talk outside. The cousin's smile broadened even more when Nora suggested the backyard. As soon as the cousin was there, the sliding glass door, Nora pushed her down on the grass and jumped on the cousin's back. Cat fight. Sarah looked at me and said she'll skip the fight details and pick up after Mike, her husband, broke it off. No, we want to hear the details. She says she knows I wouldn't want to hear about a silly girl fight. I said, no way. I want to hear about the fight in detail. Sarah started to laugh and asked what happened to. I really don't care about what happened after I left, and I had a laugh too. So guys, I'm going to wrap this up here and continue on part 4 where things get really good here in this story. And I might add, we're ending here where you have to hear about a big cat fight between these two. But what an asshole family. All of them. No one is an asshole, at least so far. Is this chick's telling the story, Sarah. Although she's coming to this guy's place and certainly milking it, in my opinion, about his good nature, about taking her in with a baby. And coming between her and her husband, even if this guy's a scumbag, which you're going to find out. And not telling what's going on. But she's getting into it, so we're going to find out. And then continue on to see where you guys can all speculate where things are going to go in the direction between this dude here telling the story and this sister Sarah. So I will see you in a couple hours, and we'll continue on.